Teachers strike in Côte d'Ivoire and death squads. The heart-wrenching testimony of a child who witnessed her father's abduction in the night. Look at this child. An innocent, sweet little girl who asked for nothing more than to live peacefully beside her father, a man of knowledge, a teacher. That night, she came face to face with horror. The unthinkable. Armed men in plain clothes, one of them wearing a balaclava, stormed into their home. They broke down the doors. Like in the darkest days of Latin American dictatorships. Like the nightmares endured by oppressed peoples, her father, Ghislain Dugariassi, is neither a terrorist nor a criminal. He is a teacher. Communications Officer for the Med, Regional Deputy 1 of Drina 4, and Secretary General of the IEPP-CI. Like thousands of other colleagues, he joined a strike to demand a legitimate bonus for educators. In response, Alassane Ouattara's regime sent in death squads. She tells how her father calmly got dressed, how he picked up his ID card. She also explains how her mother, bravely, asked to see the police officers' ID cards. But they turned them around, preventing any identification. And when this mother asked why, one of the men replied, "You want to read my name or what?" Before concealing his identity. Here is what his daughter recounts, in a chilling testimony.
When they arrived home, they knocked on the door. But I hadn't heard. So they knocked on the window. I still hadn't heard. Then they put their hands out and told me it was the police. I was panicking, so I went into the bedroom to alert my dad. I told him, "Dad, it's the police." I was afraid they'd catch my dad, so I closed his bedroom door. They broke down the living room door. They were in civilian clothes, but one of them was masked. He was wearing a camouflage t-shirt and had a gun on his thigh. As for the others, they broke down that door too. Then they came in. They told my father to get up. He got dressed, and they asked him to bring his ID. Which he did. My mom said to them, "Can you show me your ID card please?" He turned his card upside down so he wouldn't show it clearly, and so my mom said to him, "Why are you turning your card upside down?" He replied, "Do you want to read my name or what?" And he put it in his pocket. They left with my dad. Then they came back a second time. They came to take the med forms. And my mom's phone as well as mine. When we wanted to go out, they forbade us. They said that if we went out, they would shoot us. We were scared. They ransacked our house. And finally, they took my dad. They left with him.
This is not a mere incident. This is not a questioning. It is a state-sanctioned abduction, in violation of all legal norms, of every democratic safeguard.
Indeed. I was lying down and around 7 a.m. I looked on Facebook and I learned that my son had been kidnapped from his home around midnight. And they took him to an unknown location. I was told he was at the police headquarters. So I arrived at the headquarters. I tried to ask them where he was. But they told me he wasn't there. I insisted. But they told me he wasn't there. In front of his children, his wife and all that. It was at night that they came to get him. Hooded. Now I'm looking for my son. I wonder where he is. It's a union matter. He didn't receive any summons, and what I know is that at least if the police come looking for someone, they send a summons. A first one, a second one, and if you don't go to the police, they come and get you. But hooded and at midnight, they come and break down his door and take his phone. Those of his daughter and his wife. They took everything. Now when you call on these phones, there's no answer. I went to the police headquarters where I was told he was. However, I arrived there. They tell me he's not there. And now, I'm wondering where they took my son.
Take your hand off your face and speak up. You have to talk. I'm at Dugariassi's. I came to his house. This is his wife, and the comrade isn't at the police headquarters. Review the information on the meta. I'm with his wife, his mothers, and his brother. I'm at his house.
I'm looking for my brother. My brother was taken since midnight. I myself lost my son in the struggle. I haven't found the man who murdered him. My brother can't die either. Let me see my brother. I want to see him.
Here I am at Dugariasis. They just have to come and arrest me too.
Why would anyone come for a citizen in the dead of night, without a summons, without a warrant, without official witnesses? Why would agents of the law wear masks? Why terrorize an entire family and threaten to shoot a mother and her child? Because this is a logic of terror. A regime in panic mode, ready to crush any protest, any dissident voice, any union organization. Behind the scenes, the Ouattara regime is preparing a fourth illegal term, and to that end, it muzzles, intimidates, and terrorizes. Ghislaine Dugari-Assi is a political hostage, a warning to others. But what the regime cannot control is the cry of a child, heartbreaking, sincere, raw. A cry that pierces hearts, souls, and the walls of silence. Today, we solemnly demand the immediate release of Ghislaine Dugari-Assi, an end to the repression of striking teachers. The launch of an independent investigation into this armed night raid. And above all, care and protection for this child, whose mental well-being has been shattered by the very state that was supposed to protect her. How many more children must be traumatized, before we finally open our eyes to the totalitarian drift of the Ouattara regime? Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.